Voting is underway. Electioneering is kicked into overdrive online. Candidates know this week is their last chance. It's getting a bit somewhat surreal. So here to tell us who's up, who is down and who's doing what on TikTok, digital editor Finn Hogan. Finn, morena.
Good morning, Simon.
All right, so tell us, who is up and down?
Well, praise be, second to last week, we've almost made it, Simon. But if we take a look at our usual top 10, it does make for some interesting viewing. Luxon's pulling out pretty far ahead in terms of overall engagement. But then you've got Seymour holding into that second spot. But for the first time, he's really having to work for it. He's posting nearly 12 times a day on average, and that compares to just 2 for Hipkins or Peters. So I think he's feeling a little bit of that pressure as ACT's polling softens. Yep. Interestingly, you're also seeing Ginny Anderson in the 5th spot there. Yep. She's kind of been a bit overperforming here. She's posting a lot of selfies of her out door knocking on the campaign trail, and funnily enough, she's almost making a game of like finding the people who want to talk to her the least and committing, as you can see there, which is admirable commitment from door knockers.
Very admirable. ACT's polling trends, are they reflected in the party pages?
Yeah, so if we look at the party pages, National, again, is pretty far ahead on almost every metric that we measure. And then you've got ACT down in 5th, and they've clearly got the same memo as Seymour. They're posting nearly 12 times a day on average as well, which is basically double what Labor's posting. That means you've got the Outdoor and Freedoms Party and Loyal NZ in 3rd and 4th. Okay. But as we're going to find out in your story shortly, Simon, making a splash on social doesn't necessarily translate to actual support in the polls.
That's right. It doesn't seem to translate to the polls. But how much of that engagement is actually being bought and paid for by the parties?
Yeah, well, obviously now is the time to spend money, and they certainly are. We've seen nearly $500,000 spent on Meta in the past month. But what I found interesting was for the first time we're seeing a substantial amount of money spent on the personal pages of politicians. Luxon, paid for by the National Party, is spending nearly $1,000 a day. Seymour is posting about $10,000 over the past month. So you're starting to see a push behind the personality pages as well as the party.
Right, so we're talking a lot about Facebook, but what are the trends on Google, tell us?
Yeah, Google trends are interesting. If we look at the overall search traffic, Winston Peters is pretty well ahead over the past 2 weeks in terms of overall search at 36%. Chris are on about 20 each. You've got David on 14 and the rest are down in the single digits. Now, obviously, being searched for isn't necessarily meaning support, but it really does show how Winston Peters has become almost the defining issue heading into the back end of this campaign. Does National need him or not? Obviously, we saw John Key dragged out to plead in not so many words with voters. Please don't make us go with Winston.
Yeah, so apart from the personalities, what about the parties themselves?
Well, so National, in terms of overall Google search trends, has been pretty far ahead all year long. Labor's sort of languished around 5th, which National are obviously going to claim as a massive win. But it's important to remember, incumbency matters here. People aren't going out to search for Labor because of their government. It's hard not to know what they're up to.
So that's Google. Let's talk TikTok.
Let's talk TikTok. Yes, TikTok is increasingly the platform for our politicking. Pretty much all the parties and the MPs are on there. And it's basically the Wild West right now. Everyone knows that's where young voters are, but no one's exactly sure how to work it. There's a lot of content there. Some of it's bizarre, some of it's funny, and I'm not going to lie to you, some of it's just deeply challenging.
The thing is that TikTok is actually banned on parliamentary devices.
Yes, so there really is an awkward tension here. TikTok, remember, is owned by ByteDance. That has very close ties to the Chinese Communist Party. There are genuine considerations around data security there. It's banned on parliamentary devices, but very much being used for politicking. Labor right now are playing it quite safe, not doing a lot of bespoke content. National are very active, making a lot of bespoke content with Luxon. And maybe Labor are just half in, half out because they don't feel it's very prime ministerial. But I do think they're missing a beat here by not having Chippy wade in, letting Luxon have a free ride, leaning into his Minister of Memes energy. But look, there's only so much we can talk about TikTok without me actually showing you some. So I've made a little highlight reel package here. And for anyone watching who hasn't seen Shane Jones singing on TikTok, congratulations, I admire you, but that blessed period of ignorance is about to end.
All right, thank you, Finn. I think. Let's take a look.
Go, I'm a veteran and I'm feeling thirsty. Boom, those millennials and Gen Z. I'm about to run the streets of Boca Jonesy.
Come if my hair looks foo-foo or if I've got breakfast on my face.
Are you the king of the zinger? You got a few good licks in there?
I'm the king of the gingers.
You got to tell us who you're going to kiss, who you're going to marry, and who you're going to kick.
I'll kiss him.
Yeah.
Let me tell you 3 reasons why you should be voting for National.
National's going to rebuild the economy so we can reduce the cost of living.
If we can start raising productivity with ice cream scooping, who knows where it might lead.
Our TikTok has been spammed.
Hey!
Vote RAF for Ireland. Vote top for New Zealand.
This is for the girls on the grind. This is for the girls that'll work full time.
Do your job. You've only got one job. Get your contractors to earn their living.
You know, we've got to make it happen. You know, we can sit back on our bums and do nothing and then complain. I'm mere peka for Rotorua. Come on, whānau, just do it.
James Jones, believe them. Taking whānau to the ceiling. They came back in the iwi. Oh, yeah.